Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm just going to be covering the best solo endgame builds. I'm planning on making this a mini-series where I'll cover all the other subclasses, then eventually make a final video showcasing the best 3 builds out of the series. Starting on Warlock here, there is no better exotic than the Starfire Protocol, allowing you to easily clear out rooms of enemies, as well as putting up some of the highest damage in the game. So let's get into the build. So to begin, you're going to want Empowering Rift and Fusion Grenade to start this build. Aspect wise, the main one you're going to want is Touch of Flame, allowing your fusion grenades to explode twice. Then for your fragments, you're going to want Ember of Singeing, Ember of Resolve, Ember of Empyrean, and Ember of Blistering, allowing you to not only heal off grenade kills, but gain grenade and class ability energy back, as well as increasing the duration of your restoration and radiant effects. Stat wise, this build isn't too demanding. 100 Resilience is always the go in endgame activities, and if you can get that 100 Discipline as well, that's definitely a plus. But if you can't, there's no stress. This build has so many other ways to get your grenade back, so at the end of the day it really doesn't matter. Armor wise, for the helmet you can honestly run whatever you'd like, depending on the activity that you're in. So Emma Finders are definitely top tier, as well as Siphon mods, or if you have a spare slot, Ashes to Assets are always a good choice. On the gauntlets, a fastball, a bolstering detonation, and a firepower mod, allowing you to throw your grenade further, as well as generating class ability energy and an orb when you damage and kill a target. For your chest piece, like many builds, there are no mods that make or break this setup, but I would recommend if you can't get that 100 resilience, a Font of Endurance is definitely amazing, or if you're purely using this build for damage, reserve mods are definitely the go. Boots now, a better ready, an innovation, and an insulation mod allow you to gain class ability energy, grenade energy, and heal you on every orb pickup, which you will be creating a lot of as you are chucking your grenades. If you're using this build for damage, once again, you can swap off any of the boot mods. I would recommend the innovation mod or a surge mod. On the class item now, we have 1 time dilation and 1 reaper mod. If you do have 100 resilience and you aren't using that font of endurance, you can take off that time dilation mod and swap it out for another reaper mod per se, or maybe even a bubble mod. Gameplay loop wise, to get the most out of the exotic, you're going to want to chuck down your empowering rift and chuck out nades as pleased, and by then, after getting a couple kills with your grenade, you will have your class ability back, and while staying in that rift, if you damage any target, you'll gain grenade energy back, meaning you have this really nice loop of cycling between your class ability and your grenade, all while you're creating orbs and healing yourself. Damage loop wise, the foundation is pretty much the same. This again works in an empowering rift or your well of radiance. The best gun I found to run with this build would be a Wither Horde. You simply just stick your target, as it does take damage, chuck away your grenades, and then you can swap to your rockets, and by then you'll be getting your grenade back. So you just fire off a rocket, chuck a grenade, reload, and then re-stick your Wither Horde as you please. Before we move on, I would like to mention one honourable mention and one build to look out for within the solo subclass. So one build to look out for would be the Sun Braces build. Recently a lot of videos have been coming out surrounding this exotic, but the gist of it is you'll be chucking a shit ton of grenades, all while healing yourself, creating a bunch of orbs, and not to mention they do a decent chunk of damage. One honourable mention would be the Phoenix Protocol. This build is amazing for GMs, but has definitely been snuffed out by the Starfire. What it pretty much does is when you pop your well and stand in that well while getting kills, the amount of kills you get will determine the amount of super energy you get back. This used to be so crucial within Grandmasters, not so much now, but I can definitely see it coming back into use in the future. Anyways, onto the Titan now. So the Laurel Splendor Helm is definitely the best on Titan at the moment, allowing you to create a sunspot with improved solar restoration when critically wounded or on barricade cast. Aspect wise, Roaring Flames and Solar Invictus is definitely the go, in addition to the fragments Ember of Torches, Ember of Solstice, Ember of Wonder, and Ember of Searing, allowing you to have a pretty constant radiant and restoration buff, not including the one you get from your sunspot, as well as creating fire sprites and orbs of power from most kills you get. Stat-wise, resilience is definitely a plus. Recovery isn't necessary as you'll pretty much always have restoration applied, then all the other stats can be up to preference, but I would highly recommend discipline. Mod-wise, once again on the helmet, a harmonic siphon mod, and any other ammo finders as you please. For your gauntlets, fastball, impact induction, and bolstering detonation, because in that sunspot you'll pretty much be invincible, checking your abilities around, meaning when you cause melee damage it reduces your grenade cooldown, and when you cause damage with that grenade it grants you class ability energy. Chest piece wise it's more of the same, like I said, Font of Endurance if you're just below 100 resil, then any other resistant mods as you please. Boots wise, better ready, insulation, and innovation, probably the best mod you can run, but once again similar to Warlock, if you would like to swap out that innovation mod for a surge mod by all means. For your class item now, a time dilation, 2 utility kickstarts, meaning with these utility kickstarts and everything we have running, when your class ability is cast, as long as you are standing in that sunspot, you will initially gain a quarter of it back, then while standing in that sunspot, you will get the rest of it back before your sunspot actually runs out, meaning you literally become a tank on the field with infinite health regen. Gameplay loop wise, there isn't exactly one. It's a very easy build to run as it pretty much does all the work for you, as when you get low it will automatically use your class ability energy to spawn a healing sunspot, then you can just stand in that sunspot for increased damage, healing, and also class ability energy, pretty much allowing you to become an unkillable tank. One honourable mention on Titan would have to be the Hallowed Fireheart chest piece, which pretty much gives you a base solar ability regen, and more so if your super is charged. And one build I'll definitely look out for is the Ashen Wake Gauntlets. Once again recently a lot of videos have been coming out where it's doing insane ad clear as well as pretty decent damage. There are numerous videos around, so I will link a couple in the description for you. Okay, on to Hunter now. Kara's Spine has recently come into the spotlight as an amazing ability chain build, allowing you to pretty much infinitely chain your melee and grenade abilities, as well as putting out surprisingly high damage. To start this build, you're gonna want to run Gambler's Dodge, Knife Trick, and Trip My Grenade, otherwise it won't work. For aspect wise, you can run whatever, but I just ran Knock 'em Down and On Your Mark. Fragment wise, Ember of Singeing, Ember of Blistering, Ember of Torches, Ember of Resolve, and Ember of Benevolence, which allows you to gain grenade energy and heal on grenade kills, as well as providing class ability energy and radiant when you damage a target with your melee or grenade. Stat wise, once again, this build isn't too strict. 100 resilience is always the go, but like I previously said, if you don't have that, you can just put on your resilience chest piece mod. You could definitely spec into recovery or discipline, or even mobility if you have spare slots. For the helmet, a Cypher mod, an ammo finder mod, and then a hands-on is a very good setup, allowing you to gain some super energy back from your melee kills. Gauntlet wise, fastball actually isn't necessary because this exotic intrinsically gives it, meaning you can put on a bolstering detonation, a momentum transfer, and a focusing strike mod, allowing you to gain class ability energy from grenade and melee damage, as well as reducing your melee cooldown when you cause grenade damage. Chest piece wise, once again, want of endurance if you don't have that 100 resil, and then any other resistant mods as you please. For your boots, a better already, one innovation and one invigoration mod, allowing you to gain health, melee, and grenade energy on orb pickup. Then for the cloak, 2 outreach and 1 bomber mod, allowing you to reduce your grenade and melee cooldown when using your class ability. Gameplay loop wise, it's decently simple. It is very ability heavy, as you'll pretty much just be spamming your melee, then chucking your nade around, and if you happen to miss one of your melees, you can simply just dodge near an enemy and you'll have it back. One honorable mention for this build would have to be Frosties, as they are extremely viable, and one build to look out for would have to be a Lucky Pants build, which I only just recently saw a video on. I'll link it down in the description for you guys. Full credit to Eternal for showcasing this build. Okay, that's all from me guys, thank you so much for watching. If there's anything you would change about these builds or any builds I didn't mention, please feel free to mention them in the comments below. Have an amazing day everyone, peace!